boner.
That's in there. Just like that.
Nice. It's going to be the outtake episode.
You're the outtake.
Bloopers and scoopers.
Outcast.
Live from a congested and sinus-infected Shipwreck Studios in sunny Burbank, Illinois, the Not Podcast, Episode 3.
At least
This
1/3.
Yeah, this fool gets sick and we're all congested.
Oh, yeah, this weather has been, when it goes from 80 to 40 to 40 to 80 to 80 to 60 to 60 to 40 to 30 to 80 to 90.
Rain,
My
sunshine.
sinuses have said, enough. Enough.
I usually miss the nice days because I'm at work, so I'm used to the 40s and 60s and crap.
We'll just wait 5 minutes.
Well,
Right.
you leave for work in the morning and you're like, okay, I should wear my jacket. I should wear my long sleeve shirt. I should wear my undershirt. Blah, 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 blah. And then by noon, you're like, I need to take all these clothes off. It's 90 degrees. It's 102 in the car. It's like, oh, God.
And
That's
driving
right.
down the street naked, and all the guys are going,
Yeah, in my Mini Cooper.
You mean the guys?
Yep.
Mini
yep.
Cooper.
Mini Cooper.
All right, you are the Mini Cooper.
Yeah, well, that's to me, the Nissan Rogue is the size of a Mini Cooper. It's
Convertible.
it's just a high-riding Mini Cooper.
But it's paid for.
Yeah, that's the most important part. That is the most important part.
So what do we got for topics today, guys?
We got a bunch of stuff that happened, man. I guess the Kyle Busch cause of death finally was released, and it was sepsis. Go figure.
Yep.
Everybody making their speculations and everything. In time, the truth came out as to what happened, and I find it disgusting and revolting, though, that people are like, oh, it couldn't be that. They're covering this up. There's a cover-up going on. There was something more to it. It's like, no. If you know anything about sepsis, which I happen to know a lot about sepsis, it's like a little tiny burning ember inside you. And it burns and it burns and it smolders and it burns and it burns. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, it's like a forest fire. It's like within hours, it can literally shut your body down.
Well, obviously, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
it's-
exactly, when all this was released, I didn't want to say anything, but that was in my head. I'm like, this was reminiscent of my dad. Who started out with a little lung infection that he didn't even know was a lung infection and went into sepsis. And by the time the sepsis went whoosh and took over the body, it was too late, and it causes all kind of other problems. In my dad's case, he had a stroke because of it. In Kyle Busch's case, it sounds like his organs just shut down, and it sounds like maybe heart failure or something, along those lines, which is common with sepsis. It's just tragic. But on a lighter note, I think NASCAR did a phenomenal job honoring him. I think the drivers had really decent things to say. I think the speech at the track before the race was phenomenal. I think all across the entire racing community, everybody who's won a race since this happened does the Kyle Busch bow in tribute to Kyle. So I think this is really, it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully the family will cherish that.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, it was a spectacular event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a way to send somebody off.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if you guys actually watched the race at Charlotte, because I know you guys were doing stuff. But the pre-race festivities, let alone for Kyle, but it was also Memorial Day weekend, so they had all the salute to service and the soldiers and whatnot. So as far as Kyle goes, they had the video package of him, his moments, winning the races, in the garage, talking to guys, whatever. But I'm not going to lie, it kind of had me teary-eyed because I'll say 50% of the stuff that I saw that in the video package was with Brexton. When he was little, going up and he's driving with the championship flag in the car with his dad and whatever. So then after they did that, they did the speech with everybody that was in that stadium, it seemed like, in the infield, behind the family, I don't know who it was from NASCAR, gave the speech, whether it was the CEO or president or whatever, and then they had the Charlotte Fire Department, 3 members dressed in full garb for bagpipe playing, and they played, Mike, you would know what the song is. I don't know what the name of the title of the song they always play. So then I was kind of getting choked up for that. And then right after that, they had somebody, I think it was from the Marines, started playing taps, and I lost it.
Yeah. It was a beautiful send-off, for sure.
But, it was nice.
NASCAR did it right, and Richard Childress Racing did it right, too. But very emotional time for to be a NASCAR fan and to witness all this stuff again, man. When you lose a driver on track, it's devastating. But I think we just found out when you lose them off track too, it's just as devastating.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it's something that's just it's hard to wrap your head around it. It's if he was 99 years old and it happened, you'd be okay. He had a good life. But 41. It's a little crazy,
It was awkward watching the race yesterday and knowing that he wasn't there.
Yeah, it was definitely not having a Kyle Busch in a race is like it's like not having a pickle on your hamburger, man. It's like, wait a minute, it's like this went together for how many years? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, he was, even though he's been in pretty much a little bit of a rut for this past, season so far. They always alluded to him. They always went to him. They always, interviewed him. And, to not have this yesterday was strange. It was, It almost felt uncomfortable. It almost felt like I was cheating on somebody.
Yeah. Well, the truck series was, I didn't realize how dominant he was in the truck series. I mean, I used to love when he would race because it's like, oh, here comes Kyle Busch. Anybody else, you hope to finish second, But, over the years, he's ran some cool trucks. But it was weird watching the trucks this week because I think he would have been in one of the trucks this week again.
Yeah.
And not seeing him there, and the truck was doing okay, and then it kind of got to the front, and then you were watching it going, if Kyle Busch was in that truck would be winning this race. There's no doubt it would be winning this race. But it was kind of cool though. Derek Lemke, Natalie Decker's boyfriend or husband, they're married now. He raced in the truck series this weekend, and he ran the Merck's cheese truck, which I thought was freaking awesome. Okay, Merck's cheese. If you've never had Merck's cheese, Merck's, feel free to sponsor us. Come on board here. We'll promote you. You give us free product, and I'll be even happier. But Merck's cheese spread is one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
And
we live by the tubs of those things.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you, man, if you really want something good, go buy yourself some soft pretzels, those Mr. Softy pretzels.
And 2 out of 3 fat guys agree.
Put a little Merck's cheese on your soft pretzel as it's coming out warm. Yeah, that's good stuff. So, hey, what do you guys think of Natalie Decker?
I don't know from Natalie Decker.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay, there was a big controversy about Natalie because she ran the truck series about 3 or 4 weeks ago and had a complete meltdown. And NASCAR websites and Facebook pages and social media went nuts, just bashing the crap out of her. And then I had to get into it with somebody because, if you've never driven a race car, you can have an opinion, but your opinion really doesn't matter because you have no clue what you're talking about.
Right.
If you've never driven a race car on a track at a high rate of speed, let alone in a competitive race, shut the fuck up, okay? Don't say she sucks because she obviously qualified to make a race. You're on your couch watching it on television. Not that I'm a huge Natalie Decker fan, but right is right. I'm watching these people bash her. She had a bad race, and it was like one of those days that she must have rolled out of bed and nothing went right. She got a penalty, then she got another penalty, then she just was like, fuck this truck. The truck was acting up, and finally the crew chief was like, go ahead and just park it. I think they realized that truck wasn't going to win or do anything competitive, and it was She already qualified, made the laps, got the race. They're getting paid. Walk away. People don't understand how that works either. That as long as you start the race and do one lap, you get paid. Okay, whether you're in first place or last place, you do get money.
Right.
So I'm listening to all these idiots on social media just bashing her to death, and it's like, you know what? She's got a lot of wins under her belt. Her father was a racer. You're being disrespectful, and you know what? You can not like somebody, but when you start getting personal and bashing and all that, it gets ugly, and it's like, leave her alone.
Well, see that's the thing. You and I have complete different views of a certain driver, but I have never heard you belittle the man. You just don't like him.
Oh, I can't stand him.
Okay, but do you belittle him?
And I won't belittle him because you know what? He's won a championship and I haven't. Okay. I don't like him. I never will like him.
And you don't have to.
And I don't have to. He's got 1 million fans. He don't give a shit if I like him or not.
Obviously, because he didn't send back his fucking card.
Yeah. But
you don't have to belittle somebody or
Right. You don't have to knock somebody down. I mean, it was like for all those years with Kyle Busch. I was not a Kyle Busch fan, man. When he left Hendricks and he got really mouthy and nasty and just started really talking shit about other drivers, and he was just, I did not like him. And it wasn't until later in his career that I kind of was like, you know what, this guy's all right. And then it was my dad. My dad loved him from day one. My dad was like, this is my driver. This is my guy. If I was going to have a race team, this is the guy I would hire. And it was like, oh, Dad, I don't know about this.
Good choice.
Yeah. Well, he would have won a lot of races if he would have had a race team. I mean, Kyle is one of a kind. But yeah, the whole Natalie Decker thing was just kind of funny. Well, her husband raced this weekend, and then people are bashing him. And it's like, all right, this dude finished on the lead lap. He was last on the lead lap. He finished the race, brought the truck home in one piece. What did he do that was so terrible? Okay, he's not a regular. He doesn't race for Thor Sport. He doesn't race for Hendrick. He's an independent guy. Super small little itty bitty race team, operates out of a garage, not a facility. What did he do wrong? Okay, he did everything right.
My question is, I don't know anything about her, so I'm not going to form an opinion. But okay, so she parked the truck, and she was informed to park the truck.
Right.
What did she do so wrong? That people are bashing her.
She kind of had like an emotional meltdown over the radio.
Okay.
And it's like,
has anybody ever heard Kyle Busch?
Well, I was just going to say, Kyle Busch was tame compared to Joe Gibbs's kid. Okay?
Yeah.
Joe Gibbs, and God rest his soul, he passed away, but he was so horrible on the radio. I wanted to walk out of my seat, walk down to his pit, and just pop him, because it was like, you don't belittle your crew like that. I mean, he was calling his crew every name in the book. He was, for Mr. That's what I'm not a Gibbs fan, because I think he's a hypocrite. But, for the shit coming out of his kid's mouth, you'd never think this guy was a God-fearing Christian that he put on he was. But, it's racing, it's slack, I just won't be a fan and buy your shit, But even he signed autographs through the mail. And he was
an autograph.
See,
that's what I don't get is an autograph doesn't make or break a driver. I just not that serious to me.
Does in my book.
I don't have any autographs from any drivers.
You don't?
No, not a one.
Really?
I have a picture of Michael Jordan that was taken by my dad's friend on the court, and seen Michael Jordan multiple times, and never asked him for an autograph.
Damn.
Nope. And where I worked years ago at 680 Lakeshore Drive, his doctor was right across the street. And the one night he got hurt. He hurt his ankle, and he drove there with his S10 Chevy, and he parked it out in the street where everybody can see it.
The red Michael Jordan Blazer?
Yeah, with 23 on the
Yep.
license plate, and
Yeah.
okay. So anyway, he parked it out in front, went into the doctor. Now this is what 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Went into the doctor's office. My buddy called up from across the street and said, "Hey, you want to come over? Mike Jordan's here. You can, see him, this, that, and the other." All right. So I walk over there, and we're waiting outside the office, the doctor's office, and he comes out and shook hands and, whatever. And the security guard that I was friends with said, "Mr. Jordan, there are thousands of people standing outside by your car." He says, "I don't suggest you go that way." Michael Jordan said, "Okay, what do you got?" He says, we can get they didn't have Uber at the time. We can get a taxi right out the back door. They can come right into the parking garage and we'll let you go from there. He's like, "Okay." So they did. They got a taxi. Michael Jordan jumped in the taxi and took off out the back door. Everyone's still waiting by his car. All night long they were out there waiting.
Wow.
Never showed up. He sent a driver to pick up his car and, come in and take it home for him.
Wow.
Probably somebody didn't steal that thing.
Yeah, I don't think there was that.
They would now, I bet you.
Yeah, they couldn't get it. There was no one that can get into the car. There were thousands of people standing around.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Did he have the front seat removed, like so he could be comfortable driving in that car?
My uncle actually did that.
Really?
Yeah, he had what was it? The little Chevy.
Like the Chevette or the
Yeah,
Citation?
he had a Chevette, and he was like 6'8", 6'7", and he took the front seat out, and he sat in the back seat while he drove.
Nice.
I saw when he was taking the seat out. I go, "Oh, what happened? Did you break your seat or something?" He's like, "No, it's just more comfortable if I sit in the back." I'm like, "What?" And that's how he drove.
That's funny.
Wonder if you can actually get away with that today in today's world.
Probably not. We live in well, it would probably trigger all kind of sensors.
Yeah.
Be like,
We can drive down the street without doors on. You can have a Jeep and drive down the street without your doors on, but,
They were talking about making that illegal. That, like it's a safety thing. I don't know. I never got into the Jeeps. I mean, I've ridden in them, I've off-roaded in them, and they're nice for what they are, but they're really uncomfortable. I mean, they will chew up a man's private zones.
I have
Getting
never
in
been
and
in
out.
a Jeep.
Oh yeah, they're tiny. They're tiny. I am not a fan. Now the Jeep Grand Cherokee, on the other hand, POS as far as vehicles go, but it is one of the most comfortable. I mean, the Chevy Impala and the Jeep Grand Cherokee probably have the most comfortable seats on the market.
Really?
Back in the day, the Impalas were super comfortable.
Oh, the Impalas I know, but I didn't know Jeep even had anything. But was that before it was Iacocca? I mean,
No, it was during the Iacocca. He strained a lot of shit out with Chrysler except for quality. I mean, they came up with great designs. They came up with, all kind of stuff, but their quality just sucked. We used to call it in the business we called it the cheap Grand Heresy. Literally, man. We were at a dealer, and we were dropping a car off, and they were pulling a brand new cheap Grand Heresy off the truck, and the transmission fell out of it.
oh, geez.
Yeah, they forgot to bolt it at the factory.
How
It
do
was
you
like,
forget that?
It's cheap Grand Heresy, man. Yeah. They were.
Quick face in a hurry.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, their philosophy was fuck it, let the dealer worry about it. Just get it out of here, get it on the truck.
Yes.
So,
We don't do quality control checking.
Don't drive it. Just put it on the trailer.
right.
Don't drive it on the trailer. It'll fall
Yeah.
out.
But yeah, it was like brand new. I'm like, I feel sorry for the idiot who buys this one, because that just sucks.
Well, it would have a new transmission again.
Yeah, well, maybe. Then again, I've seen dealers do a lot of shady stuff to cars, man.
Oh, that was one thing. About dealers, they aggravate the hell out of me. Now here,
They are so sleazy, sleazy.
I worked at Jack Thompson Oldsmobile, and
God bless you.
I was doing I was the detailer, and then I started out washing cars at the rental department, which was across the street. But when I was working there, my then girlfriend wanted to buy a Olds Cutlass, and she wanted it custom ordered. So she went in there, ordered everything up. I mean, this car looked beautiful, black and silver, black and gray, and just, I mean,
What year roughly?
85.
Nice.
85.
Yeah, that was good body style.
The car or the girl?
The car.
Not the girl, I can guarantee you that. Anyway,
Girlfriend.
but she was in good shape, round as a shape. Wow. But anyway, I was waiting for this car to come in because I worked there. I would know exactly when that car came in, or at least I thought I did. And so I guess the car got there. Salesman sold it like hours after it hit the floor.
But it was an order.
It was an order. Yes, it was. They ordered another one. It gets there. Now, we're still talking within the time frame that she was told. Okay? I guess at the time it was like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that for an order. The second one comes in, and this time I'm there across the street, and I see the car come in, and they're unwrapping it. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's got to be my girl's car. So I was working, so I couldn't really go and check anything. So I come back past the car again, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is everything. It's floor shift and, gray part, a half or a quarter Landau roof and black and silver wheels. I'm like, yeah, this is it. And I see the tag, Metzger, right on there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to find a phone to call her and say, hey, your car's in, and just to let you know, they'll be calling you soon for it. All of a sudden, I'm looking, there's a salesman walking around with people looking at the car, and the guy's already saying, okay, yeah, we'll take it. So I immediately went to John Thompson, the owner's son, and said, John, these guys are selling my girlfriend's car. Now, this is the second one that's been here. The first one was hers, and they sold it underneath there. I'm watching this. John's, he's like, oh, hey, let me check into this. And he's like, yeah, they already cut the deal. I said, well, you're going to rip that deal up. I said, because I notified my girlfriend that the car's here. I've already told her the car's here, and I see the tag on it that has her name on it. He's like, okay, well, because you work here. Yeah, no, because that's bullshit.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Well, you see, here's the deal. If you wouldn't have said anything, it probably would have been one of those situations where, okay, they're paying sticker price. They might have cut your girlfriend a deal, maybe gave her $250 off. Hey, we'll take the extra money. We'll just order her a new one.
Oh, yeah.
Or if these people were coming in and they said, oh, that car's spoken for, and they're like, okay, I'll give you over sticker. They're all about the money, man. Dealerships are all about the money.
That's all it was. And I'm sure that the guy was probably, I would have to say he would have been paying over, the first guy paid over $1,500.
Wow. Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. People, they're all about money.
Well,
I used to see things, man. Oh, my God.
Well, John, or the salesman says, well, here's the problem. You're an employee. I said, but my girlfriend isn't. I didn't buy it. I just directed her here.
Right. Well, what would be the difference if you were an employee and you bought it and it was your car?
Well, because employees take back seat.
Yeah, but that's your money. You paid for the car.
Yeah,
that's not right.
It, but they don't care.
Then I'm not going to buy my car here.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to go buy my car at your
your competitor
across the street, and you can kiss my ass, and I'm still working here.
Well, see, I miss the golden age of auto where you had the Oldsmobile dealer, the Buick dealer, the Cadillac dealer, the Saturn dealer, the Chevy dealer, and they all used to compete. They used to be able to compete with one another. You'd go to buy a car, and like say you wanted to buy a Monte Carlo. Well, the Grand Prix was real similar to Monte Carlo. The Cutlass was similar to Monte Carlo. So you would shop all three models and for the best deal, and you would get these dealers. Sometimes it would be fighting over it to try to get your business,
or even just going to another Chevy dealer or a Ford dealer.
Right. Well, now they're so spanned out, it's not worth your time to do that. And they're all vultures. They're all, that's why I'm not a fan of Toyota anymore. It's like the Toyota dealers, man, they lost their fucking minds. They're like, oh, it was $4,000 market adjustment. No, it's COVID's We're 6 years out of COVID, asshole. You know,
Right.
there's no market adjustment anymore. You just choose not to stock inventory deliberately. So guess what? I'll go to Honda, and Honda has a nice inventory on their lot. So screw you.
Yeah,
you
go
know?
to a place that works.
Yep, exactly. You know, and and even like some of the other dealers, the American dealers are playing the games too. You know, I've heard that some of the Chevy dealers were doing that. And it's like, okay, Chevy, you got your issues. You probably shouldn't be doing that, because if you lose any more of your customer base, you're gonna be hurting.
You're going to have a lot of inventory.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
and you know what? You look at some of these cars, like some of these brands, you can tell the ones that have inventory are the ones that are selling the units.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Harley. Harley, they learned their lesson years ago, and they refused to go back to that process. That you would go into Harley, you'd order your bike, and it would be a 3, 4, 5, 6 month wait. And they were purposely doing that.
Yeah.
And that ended up hurting them so bad that, because Honda at that point mimicked the V-twin.
The Honda Shadow.
Yeah, and they were coming out with the same style and everything else, and people are just like, okay, well, I'm not going to wait for Harley.
See, Harley needs to, and I love Harley Davidson, man. I love the whole ambiance of Harley, but Harley needs to wake up. And I think, you know what though, Mike, I'll disagree with that a little bit. That back in the day, when the golden age of what I refer to as the golden age of Harley, if you wanted a Harley, it was something special. And you would walk in and you would be. Sometimes there was bikes, some of those bikes, like I remember there was a Night Shadow edition Fat Boy that was like a year and a half wait, because they only produced these, because everything was blacked out. It had to be specially anodized. The parts had to be anodized and all that. So it was a much, much longer wait. And these dudes, Night Train, it was called the Night Train. It created this special thing. Now on the flip side of that, you also had, that was when the Harley thefts were big, and they would steal your bike and put it on a container and send it to like Saudi Arabia or Europe or whatever, and you would never see your bike again, and you were fucked, because you would be like, okay, I need to go, I got my insurance check, everything's legit, it was legit, and they'd be like, well, you want another bike, it's going to be another 6 months. Well, now riding season's over with, so those people would turn around and go buy a Honda.
Right, but see, here's the thing. Harley purposely took that long to do that, to make it something special. They've admitted it. I mean, they came out and blatantly just said, yeah, we screwed up. It was not an idea. It was an idea that, we're going to make something of this bike more than what it is, and it didn't work. It backfired in their face. And, again, they've announced at that point, I mean, this was probably 15, 20 years ago, they announced that they will not be going back to that type of process, because people want the bike anyway.
Yeah. And the other thing I think Harley made a big mistake was recognize your market. Okay, automobiles, there's no cars anymore that come out with a stick shift. Harley, build an automatic transmission motorcycle.
It's not fun.
You know what, though? But it would be fun. There's a whole market segment that you could open up if you would just do that. And it's like, Harley, wake up. There is a whole market that does not want to ride a motorcycle because they're scared to death of shifting gears. They're not coordinated, and they just would be much more comfortable with an automatic transmission. And now it's like you're losing market segment. And now all your bikers are dying off. They're getting up there. They're baby boomers and Gen Xers. There's not a lot of young kids coming into the motorcycle world anymore.
Buy an electric bike. They're automatic.
Yeah, they're also small. And I'll tell you, man, if they made a heritage Softail with an automatic transmission, I would be standing at the dealer with my wallet open saying, take my money. And, I mean, it's just the way I think Harley's missing a boat there. I think they're missing an opportunity where, you go on the website and, God, these motorcycles are beautiful, man. They're gorgeous. And here you go. If you want an automatic transmission, you got to go with an electric, which is either too small, and it doesn't have it's not a street bike. It doesn't look like a street bike. It doesn't act like a street bike. It doesn't, have anything remotely like motors. It's more of a race bike, more of a Buell, if you remember the Buells. From
Oh, yeah, Buell's a Harley.
And it's like, or now Harley's pushing the electric bicycles. It's like, yeah, they're really cool. I mean, I would if I'm going to spend $2,000 for an electric bike, I would consider a Harley Davidson electric bike, just for the nostalgia alone on it. But I don't know, I'd look pretty ridiculous with my leather vest and my bandana riding my electric bicycle down Harlem, It's like, I don't know. Right, my ding, ding, ding. But I don't know, man. I wish Harley would just recognize the market, come out with it, launch a massive marketing campaign, and you would attract a whole new generation of riders.
Maybe we don't want you.
Well, then you're going to go out of business. It's, and that's,
they're never going to go out of business. They're not going out of business.
They're downsized significantly, which is scary. I mean, the dealers now. I mean, look at how many dealers folded.
I don't know of any.
Oak Lawn.
That's one. And they didn't fold. They moved.
Well, they took their license away.
Because they weren't close to a highway.
Right. They changed that whole model of you need to be close to an expressway.
So
why is that?
Harley just has their strange.
Yeah, they do a lot of weird things. Well, they want it because of the open road rider. They wanted their Harleys for service and parts to be located close to expressways. But now, like Oak Lawn Harley, that was legendary, man. I mean, there was a lot of people who didn't even ride that shopped at Oak Lawn Harley.
And it was funny. It wasn't really that far from an expressway.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, when you thought about it, it was 294 I mean, it was right over there. I think, too, there was development deal going on over there, and the village wanted them out. And, they wanted to develop Mariano's and all that on that land.
Probably.
Because Oak Lawn Harley took up a lot of space. They had the sales and service showroom, and then they had a whole service department area room building. They had some other building where they sold I think the Buells came out of when Buell was a thing.
Yeah, it was. They were in the same same showroom, but yeah, it was a big place.
Yeah, and then they used to do a ton of community stuff. They used to do a ton of
they always had fests there.
Cookouts and fests
and
charity things for people. That was a big thing of the biker community was to help people.
And they do the Toys for Tot rides or whatever.
Oh, they all do the Toys for Tots,
yeah,
which we used to do tow trucks for tots, which was a spinoff of Toys for Tots, and that was I miss doing that. That was fun. Tow trucks for tots was a blast.
That would be.
It was freaking scary as hell if you were driving a tow truck at 100 miles an hour down the expressway.
If you wrecked, you have somebody to
they wrecked too, man. I think every year there was a wreck. Somebody would wreck. And then
you had somebody to take you.
And then you get the email on Monday morning, can we take up a collection for such and such towing company that wrecked their truck on the parade route? And it was always something stupid too, like somebody slammed on their brakes and just wrecked another. There was a vintage truck that got wrecked, and they did a collection for that one. All the companies donated a couple $100 to try to get this guy his parts and get his truck fixed.
Now, was your shop? Did you have your own tow trucks?
Yeah, we had two of them. We had a flatbed. William would drive the flatbed, and I drove the little conventional wrecker with the hook on the back. And we would drive from, I think, was it the casino out in Joliet, down I-55 to Toyota Park.
Okay. At one time, I don't know if they still did it or not, but they used to have a competition for the best looking tow trucks.
Oh yeah, that's a whole little subculture, man. Towing industry is a whole little subculture.
Yeah, if you notice, that's why Walsh Towing changed all their trucks and made them fancy and everything else. And the reason I mentioned Walsh is because he was a friend of my dad's.
He's a good dude. Walsh's is a good outfit. They have that big wrecker, which everybody would be in awe. They had this monster that they brought in at one time. That was, and it's funny because I was talking to them like, how much did that truck cost? And they're like, oh, it was about $380.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you recoup your money on that? How do you? And he's like, do you know how much the average tow that we do is? And I was like, huh? He's like, upwards of $5,000. He's like, we're flipping semis back over, and then we're towing them, and it's a very specialized unit, but they make their money back.
You know that ramp that comes off of 294 going on to 95th Street?
Yep.
Going east?
Yep.
They're always pulling cars and trucks and everything out of that gully.
Yeah. Those heavy-duty wreckers are incredible machines.
I know the big one. I went past their shop the other day, and that thing is friggin' huge.
And the military, the Army used to bring out their heavy-duty wrecker that's meant for, like, hauling the big things after they get bombarded out and everything. And it was funny. He had a little sticker in the window and it said, "Yes, it's fast. No, you can't drive in it. No, you can't sit in it." I thought that was just hilarious. I had a picture of that somewhere.
Pretty much answers all the questions.
Yeah.
Covers all the bases.
But they used to be a party, man. They used to, and I think they still do it too. One of these years, I'm going to just probably go up there as a spectator. But yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I used to do it with all my accounts and everything. We used to do a collection, and we would bring, like, literally our flatbed would be loaded with toys. And you felt good. It was like right after Thanksgiving, and it kicked off the whole Christmas season for you. Got you in that Christmas spirit early. And it was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. But
yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, because, when we do the haunt, we have that our donation that we collect, and it feels good to give somebody something, right, and it's really the perfect timing right before Halloween or right before Christmas, when sometimes pockets are tight because of medical bills for these kids and whatnot. And
not only that, but you helped an adult too. And it was one of my account sisters, which when I came the one time and I saw the name and I saw her and I was like, "Oh my God, you're the person," and she was just, I mean, thank God, knock on wood, God bless her, she's still surviving, her illness, and you guys were a part of that, which was pretty cool.
That is cool. I didn't know that you knew her.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Salvages were, I knew them from my friend Kim that worked for one of my insurance companies, and also Salvages were, their daughter is an ace pitcher.
Oh, okay.
She actually is a D1 pitcher now for where did she go? DePaul.
Okay.
She actually was recruited by DePaul.
Nice.
Yeah, she threw a hell of a. She was a good pitcher. She was a really good pitcher.
Well, if she's going to DePaul and playing for them, that means she's got some talent.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were a funny story. She had a reputation. There's a lot of kids that have reputations in the softball world in the South Side, and I coached one of the Liberty teams, and a guy, Memo Chavez, coached the other Liberty team, and then Memo coached the All-Star hybrid team that would do the tournaments after our regular season would end, so we could combine the two Liberty teams and play on. Well, Memo usually had an undefeated season. He was an awesome coach. I mean, probably one of the best softball coaches I ever worked with. I learned a lot from him, actually, just about coaching, about softball, about life. Really good dude. And one year we were at the pitching coach's house who coached Kaylee Salvage, and we sent him a picture. We put a Liberty jersey on her and sent him a picture saying she was going to play for us next year. He just about shit a brick. It was funny. He was like, "Oh, fuck. There goes my undefeated season." Because she was capable of beating anybody any day. She's a good pitcher. Good family. Really good family, too.
I remember who you're talking about, but what was her first name? Do you remember that offhand?
I don't know the mom's name. I know Kaylee, the daughter, who was the pitcher.
Yeah.
Tim is the husband. I got it. I'll think of it.
Yeah,
It'll pop into my head. It'll pop into my head.
I think the reason we picked her was because
I think her name's Kate. Yeah, it's Kate Salvage.
Okay.
Kate. Yeah, it's Kate.
I think we picked her because, one, she knew the McNamara's, which was another family that we got donations for, but because she had, how many kids?
3. 2 daughters and a boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she had, and I think she had at the time she had just had the baby.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's why we chose, instead of doing a child, we couldn't find a child that year, and she was the nominee.
Yep. Yeah. Good people. But yeah, that was a small world. And then I guess the World Series of softball is on this week. Karen's been glued to the TV watching it.
I watched a little bit of some of the games at work when I was on break.
They were good games. They were really good games.
I think the one that I watched was Texas and Nebraska.
Go Longhorns.
And I don't know nothing for softball, but the one stat they showed for the pitcher for Nebraska is the first girl in D1 history to have multiple over 20 wins and over 30 home run seasons.
Yeah, Nebraska got eliminated too.
Yeah. She was pitching that day.
Yeah, UCLA got let go too, man. They lost yesterday. I think it's Texas Tech, Alabama, Texas, and Tennessee are in the finals.
I know that my wife works with a girl that her daughter's been in that playoffs, and I don't know where she ended up or if she's still in it or not, and I don't even know. I can't remember the name of the school, but yeah, she was a good player.
Yeah, there's a girl she went to Marist, but she transferred out to, I think, Lincoln Way or one of those schools out in that area, and she's playing for Texas. I didn't see her playing, but she's a freshman, so she might not be on the field yet, as much.
Is that Texas A&M or?
Texas.
Oh, just Longhorns. Longhorns. I saw them in those.
Whatever happened to, what's her name? Jenny Finch? Is that her name?
I think she's a commentator. Yeah, and she does her Jenny Finch School and Jenny Finch League and all kind of stuff. She's still making money off softball. She's one of the few.
I don't even know who that is.
It was a girl from around here, right?
Yeah, she was local. Yeah.
She kind of made it
big time. She was a big time pitcher. Oh, it's funny. Did you guys ever see the video of Jenny Finch pitching to Pujols?
No.
Pujols couldn't hit her.
Really?
Yeah. He was mind fucked. It was. If you look it up on YouTube, look up Jenny Finch pitches to Pujols.
I always thought it was amazing how they could just pitch like that and have that velocity and actually throw junk. By pitching that way.
It is truly. That is the original way pitchers pitched. Still in Europe and Australia, guys' leagues still pitch like that. And there used to have, years ago, the Thunderbolts used to play the Bandits, which was the boys versus girls, and all the teams, all the little league teams and all the little girl softball teams would show up at the park.
Right.
That this is the one-sided route for the Bandits, one-sided route for the Thunderbolts. And they used to always have to get a pitcher for the Thunderbolts that knew how to pitch like that, specifically for that game. And the one year, this big dude like my size comes out, and he was throwing heat, which was usually they sucked. The Thunderbolts really sucked, and they got their asses kicked by the Bandits because they couldn't hit that style of pitching. They never knew it. Well, this guy knew how to pitch, and he was striking out the Bandits players. And it was he was a beast.
Right.
And I think that's the year the Thunderbolts actually beat the Bandits. But he was from Australia, and that's how he grew up to learn how to pitch. He was an underhanded pitcher.
Brought in the ringer.
Oh yeah, they brought in a ringer because I think they were tired of getting beat and making them look stupid. Bandits used to always beat them, but most of those girls that were on the Bandits were all from Australia. They were Australia and California, and Florida.
Huh.
Yeah, where they can play year round.
Yeah.
Those are the best players in the world, the players that can play year round.
I look at, your daughter pitching and all them. I don't get it. My arm don't work in that direction.
Abby still has pain from it. She said she thinks her shoulder is permanently destroyed from pitching.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Makes sense.
Well, she got used a lot. Her last 2 years, she got used a lot. Her last 2 high school years, they pitched her every game in high school. And they kind of wore her out. And we abused her too, So on the travel team, we abused her. She pitched a lot. But at least on the travel team, she had a backup, or I shouldn't even say a backup. Her and Mac were 2 number 1 starters. We were blessed. We had 2 starters that we could start at any given day. And if one was having an off day, we pulled her, put in the other pitcher. And one of them was having a good day.
And we had that same problem with the boys, though,
Yeah.
I don't know how many. There was times that we changed everybody, the whole pitching. We had 4 pitchers, and every one of them we pulled out or put in that same game.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the times we did that because we didn't want to pitch them too long because then we wouldn't be able to use them again for 2 games or 2 days or whatever the rule was.
Yeah, I get that, but there was times that Jimmy would have a problem, then Devin would have a problem, then Nicholas would have a problem, then Tyler would have a problem, and start at the top again.
I always, when I hear people talking about kid, boy or girl, pitchers having problems with their soreness or, after the fact or whatever, I always think about Alex. And Alex wasn't on our team normally, but for whatever reason, he was on one of our teams. I don't know if it was an all-star team or something, because he wasn't normally on our team.
No, probably fall ball or
maybe. And dude, this kid had a natural curve at the age of like 8.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows anything about pitching, throwing a curveball isn't like a natural motion for a normal person. And this kid was throwing them like it was nothing. And you can tell when it was coming when we played against him, because his dad was a coach. And his dad would be sitting at the dugout, and he'd always look over by his dad before he threw. And then he'd throw. Well, you knew the curveball was, at least we did. The kids might not have caught it or paid attention. His dad would go like this with his hand. Curveball was coming, and that thing broke for being an 8-year-old. And I always wondered, like, when he got into high school and whatever, after he got out of the league, was his arm fucked up?
Oh yeah, he did hurt it. He couldn't play.
See, that's the thing, is when you burn yourself out at 12 years old, or 13 or 14 or 15,
right?
And and it's the thing, these kids are having Tommy John surgery in high school now.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's
yeah.
like, whoa.
Nick, our friend Nick, he had it twice, the Tommy John surgery.
Eesh, that's crazy. In my opinion, that's crazy.
Yeah.
See, parents, here's the deal. I've been to a lot of coaching seminars, and one of the ones that stands out to me, I was sitting around with the coaches from Northwestern and from Wisconsin, and we were talking, and they said, what do you hear mostly from your parents? I'm like, well, every kid wants a D1 scholarship. That's what we hear is, how are you going to prepare our kids for college? How are you going to get them ready for a college scholarship? And all the coaches, like from Northwestern, I remember the lady from Wisconsin, I forget her name, but she still coaches there. She kind of snickered, and she said, can I tell you how to respond to that? And I said, please, because it's the number one question we get asked. And she said, I get $10 million a year to recruit. I don't know if it was 10 million, maybe it was 7 million, but it was in the millions. I get millions of dollars a year to recruit the finest players in the country. She said, I give them academic scholarships or athletic scholarships to get them to come here to play softball. And I'm competing with schools that have other millions to give to these kids. We scout the best, the absolute best in the country. You get who shows up on your tryout day.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And if you think your kid is going to go D1, they have a better chance of getting struck by lightning while playing a doubleheader on a Saturday night.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, that was blunt. And she was like, but it's the truth. She's like, and she goes, I'm going to give you some advice to tell your parents. Regardless, this ends at 21 for most of these girls. There is no real professional softball league. At the time, there was no Bandits team or anything or professional league. She's like, there was no Athletes Unlimited. She's like, this ends for them at 21. And for most of them, it ends at 18. Enjoy the moments and love the game. Sit back in your chair and watch your kid play and enjoy it. Coaches, you're going to send us a pitcher, and we're going to make her a catcher. You're going to send us an outfielder, and we're going to make her a shortstop. We're going to change them the way we see fit when we get them. And it probably has nothing to do with anything you did except for you taught them the fundamentals on how to catch and throw the ball correctly. And I was like, wow, that's pretty deep, But true story. And, I know now from, being out of it, being removed from it, cherish it, because when it's gone, it's gone. It really is. It's gone. And, you're never going to get it back. It's when Evie was done, Evie was done. She was like, I'm done.
Yeah, but there's always a possibility of grandkids.
Yeah, I hope so, because, God damn it, I really thought Abby was going to be a college pitcher. Maybe not D1, D2, D3. Who knows where she would have ended up. But I think she definitely could have played college ball for sure. And it's like, man, it just wasn't in the cards.
No, I come from a athletic background about as good as this table. But my son, my oldest son, is very athletic. He picks up everything and anything at any time, and he's good at it. If he didn't make it, I knew, for the most part, no one else is going to do it. None of his friends played baseball except for Nick, and Nick got hurt in high school. Jimmy went on to be in wrestling, and now he's a wrestling coach. Devin went on to play lacrosse. He didn't play baseball because he knew it wasn't in the cards. So you know, the only reason that he went outside of the baseball was because he knew he was never going to be. He wasn't going for D1 or anything like that anyway, but he knew trying to play even on the team that he was at in Marion, he wasn't going to get on it. And as good as he was, that wasn't going to happen for him. So he went to lacrosse and made a great choice.
Baseball, baseball is it's ruthless, man. High school baseball is freaking ruthless, and it's like, man, kids. That's why we don't have kids going into it, and they're recruiting all these players from like South America because they're crushing the egos and the souls of the American kids that are playing baseball. They're just killing them. They're making them hate the game. I know I had a bad coach and ruined the game for me. And I love baseball, but I did not like playing for him, and I did not like playing organized baseball after playing for him. I thought that was the norm.
I played 8 seasons of Little League, and I don't remember my coaches, and I'm sure I didn't like all of them, or they yelled at me more, or whatever. But I just wasn't interested until my son got into ball. That where I was able to be a coach and this, that, and the other. The game doesn't impress me as it is. There's nothing about baseball that impresses me. I'd rather watch snails race than watch baseball.
See, that's how I feel about golf. I have accounts, man, they watch golf, and I've tried, and we'll be at lunch, and the place will have a golf game on. It'll be like, check out this shot. Look at this guy. Who's the big golfer guy now? Shipley,
Shitface.
Something.
Couldn't even tell
who
you.
knows? I couldn't even tell you his name, but it's like I have no idea who this guy is, and this is like fishing shows are more exciting than watching golf, in my opinion. And fishing shows are pretty damn exciting if you're a fisherman.
Yeah.
And I guess for a golfer, watching golf is pretty exciting, but I just cannot get into it, man.
I like watching golf.
The only thing I like about golf in general is being outside because those golf courses are gorgeous.
Well, I think it's interesting that we're taking a tiny ball, trying it into the golfer hole.
Yeah.
500 yards away.
Golfer.
Golfer.
You idiot.
Yep.
Not trying to kill all the golfers.
We can do that.
But yeah, it's definitely a unique sport for sure.
And I do, like I said, I would rather watch golf. Not that I sit there and watch golf. I do watch it if it's on, and if I see Rory McIlroy or some of the names that I used to know.
I know him.
Like John Daly. Oh,
love the drink.
Oh, John Daly's hilarious.
Yeah. But
this
especially
comes
now.
out in his loud pants and
Especially
big
now,
beer
he's
belly,
hilarious.
and smoking a cigarette with half drunk. It's like
barefoot.
He's in a new
sport-
commercial.
Yeah, every sport needs a John Daly, man.
Yeah,
I don't
barefoot
remember.
and pregnant.
I don't remember what the commercial's for. It's whatever that commercial's for. Like they do the guy's hanging a painting and he can't hold it straight, so the wife calls in the backup, and it's like, some fucking quarterback from the NFL, or that's a backup, like Trubisky. Trubisky, get in there, and he's like holding the painting. It's one of those commercials.
Trubisky.
And it's a guy, like an older guy, and he's on the course with like 2 or 3 of his buddies, and he's like, you had a 400 and blah, 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 and you got to go around this dog leg, and the guys are telling him what he's got to do, and he's like, man, I'm never going to get on green that way. John, come here. And he comes walking up. He's got the big, long beard and all the fucked up clothes and shit. And he's like, I got this. And he gives him his beer to hold. And he's like, whack. And he's like hitting all this shit for this guy. And this guy's drinking John Daly's beer, sitting in a lawn chair while he's playing his hole. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, John Daly's he's funny. Now Tiger Woods though, I cannot like Tiger Woods.
I never have either.
It's like, dude, you were married to a beautiful Nordic model.
That's just
okay.
And then you
went cheated on her with an ugly hooker, and then she beat the shit out of you. And then you're saying, I got to do a car wreck. No, your wife kicked the shit out of you, dude.
It felt like a car wreck.
Yeah, it felt like a car wreck because she beat you with your own 9-iron,
Exactly.
you know. And it's like, dude, he's a train wreck. And then this latest incident with him, it's like, dude, straighten your shit out, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. How do you fall off the world like that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess money brings problems like that, but I don't know. I don't have that kind of money, so.
Well, I wish I had that kind of problem.
I don't have that kind of money, but I do have problems.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, just, you know. And then with the whole live thing, with the Saudis buying the whole golf league, it's like, okay, it's not even American sport anymore. You're supporting Saudis now.
It's never been an American sport, but now it's really not an American sport.
Exactly.
Miniature golf is.
Yeah, mini golf is fun.
I rock.
What was the other sporting thing that we should be talking about? Not
Women's
golf.
Rugby.
volleyball.
I went to go watch rugby for the first time in my life a couple months ago.
Yeah, you were
one of my
saying.
coworkers plays rugby, and her boyfriend, fiance. I don't know if they're boyfriend, fiance. Her boyfriend for sure. They both play rugby for the Northwest Indiana or Northwest Illinois Indiana Rugby League. And I'll tell you, man, that is a cool game. If I would have known rugby existed when I was young, I would totally play rugby.
And you definitely would have no knees left.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That's the funny thing about it, man. These you could tell these females are out on the and they are just. You hear the smack of the hits, and I'm like, she just clobbered that chick. It's like no pads, no helmets. And they're all wearing knee braces, which is kind of funny. They all got some type of knee brace or knee protector because they've been injured. But it is really, it's a really cool game. Rugby is pretty awesome. I was telling Abby, I'm like, hey, you might want to think about getting involved in rugby. No, Dad. I'm like, okay.
Well,
But
I mean, it's to me that's more exciting than American football.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's definitely cool.
It will never get as popular.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Never.
I didn't think volleyball was going to get that popular, and that's coming up.
That's because of the women.
Which they changed that. I was Karen watches all that college sports, so I'll walk through the room, and I'm like, "What are you watching?" And it's like, I'm like, "What happened to the bikinis in the women's sand volleyball?" And she's like, "They changed that because the women don't want to be exploited like that anymore." And I'm like, "But it was fun to watch."
I've seen it on TV.
Yeah, no, they changed it now where like the women in women's volleyball can wear like long shorts and like full tops. It's like no more bikinis. Yeah.
But they're on a beach.
That's what I said. I'm like, they're going to overheat, and you don't want them to overheat.
Then you're going to have to take everything off and
yeah,
then play
it's like,
nude
then you're gonna
volleyball.
have to,
And then we're going to have to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
yeah, you
and-
don't want to overheat. So, but yeah, it's they changed that. Like, I guess volleyball players in general have been complaining for years about the short shorts in volleyball, which I could never understand because it's like, okay, I watched my kid play volleyball, and I watched them all have to wear the short shorts. And it's like, you spend a lot of time on the gym floor when you're sliding for something. Sliding bare skin on a hardwood gym floor is not fun. It's painful. So I could agree with, let them wear the long shorts.
It depends. If you went to Oakland High School, those floors were really dusty. You could slide on there like you're running bases.
Nice.
And make a dust cloud.
Not one mark on you.
That's funny.
My God.
But yeah, those were that was crazy stuff, man. Crazy.
I learned how to
sports.
clean my shoes off real quick playing basketball. Just wipe them on your socks and you got a little bit of grip.
Yep.
Like QS, man, we used to have. They had a thing where you had to wear you could not wear like any black soled shoes onto the gym floor, and they would go. We had a basketball coach that was obsessed with his hardwood court, and we had a baseball coach that was obsessed with his baseball field. And one year, this guy, I think his name was Bromfield, Mike Brom something. He was a big doper, And when I say dope, he not only smoked weed, but he was doing very bad things in high school. But he was a genius. He had like a 4.0 perfect grade point average. He was like one of the stellar academic students, but he was a druggie. Well, he decided one night I don't know if he was high or what he was, but he took his car on Bonk's field and tore that baseball field to shreds. He was doing donuts in the infield, ripped everything up. And it was like, now I was not a big fan of Coach Bonk. I didn't particularly like him because he was really, really hard on me in particular. And so we all showed up, and the smoking area where we used to go in the morning and have our coffee and our cigarette and our donut or whatever overlooked the baseball field. And we all walked outside. We lit our smokes, and we're like looking, and we're like, what the fuck? It's like, is that? And we all walk down there, and we're looking, and there's like 6-inch ruts going right through the infield, donuts all over the place.
That's gonna be a bad.
We're like, who the hell would do this? And we all felt terrible, even if you didn't like Bonk, you felt terrible for Bonk because you knew he was going to cry because that was his field and he loved his field. Well, he showed up and I think he cried. I know he was angry, but this dipshit who did this never washed his fucking car.
Oh, God.
So he come to school and he drives right past the parking lot. And we're all standing out there staring at this field that's ripped up. And we hear the car coming because you had to drive past the field to get to the parking lot, where you park your car. And he's just driving with a big smile on his face in the morning, and he's driving.
Sod on the hood.
There's
and
sod
shit.
all over his wheel wells. There's mud all over the sides of his cars. There's fucking grass sticking out of his wiper blades. And it's like, oh, shit.
Okay, so at this point, that dude deserves to get his ass off by that coach.
They expelled him that day. He was expelled, and they pressed charges on him, too, for vandalizing the field. His parents had to pay to have it all resodded.
Son of a gun.
It's like, dude, and then he parks his car, and we're all like, dude, did you tear up Bonk's field? No, I didn't tear up Bonk's field. Well, the disciplinarian went out and got the car and pulled off like a big piece of sod, matched it. It was like, no, you tore up Bonk's field. We never saw him again. It was like, they might not have expelled him. They might have actually buried him.
I was going to say they buried him underneath it when they
He might be under that field. But, it's like dumbass.
Wow.
You remember, was Lenny there, gym teacher, Lenny Scaduto?
Yeah.
Lenny Scaduto owned the driving school in Oak Lawn, and he was our gym teacher. And
nice.
He wasn't always there. Everybody said he was an alcoholic, which is kind of ironic because he drove driving classes for people, and he was an alcoholic. But
back in the day.
Yeah. So somebody found out where he lived, and he pissed some kids off. I don't remember what happened in a gym class. And they found out where he lived, and they went on his front lawn and mixed, I want to say salt, like that you salt your driveway with maybe?
Probably.
And water, and wrote on his grass, "Fuck you, Lenny."
Nice.
And it burned right through the grass, and it was like permanent.
Yep.
I was like, man. I remember he was like always out of it when he was in class. It was like he just didn't give a fuck. It was like, okay, we're playing dodgeball today. Go ahead. Like he didn't even teach the class anymore.
Dodge. Just do it.
So I remember one time, a couple of the guys that were like the troublemakers of the class, they were fucking around, and like we weren't even ready yet, and they were like throwing balls at like other kids that weren't even in our class and walking through the gym or whatever.
Nice.
And he's like, "Give me that damn ball." And he turned around to say something to somebody else, and the guy threw it, pegged him right in the face.
Oh, God.
And he's like, "You asked for it?" And Lenny's just kind of like dumbfounded and kind of seemed like he was in a drunken stupor at the same time. And
it's funny that you mentioned that because I don't know where or how I found this. It was completely by mistake, but he had Len Skadoodle driving school in Oak Lawn for years. And you always knew his cars because they had the sign on top of the car. Well, this person is selling one of his signs, and they are in Tennessee.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, Eastern Tennessee.
I just want to know how you searched and found a Lenskadoodle driving school sign.
I didn't. It just showed up all of a sudden one day. I think it was on Facebook, and I don't usually go on Facebook. But, it's because it was on that's it, because you are from Oak Lawn, and it's their site.
One of their pages.
Yeah. And, this person is selling.
That's definitely.
How much is he selling it for?
It doesn't say. You have to go into it to find out. I just took a picture of it and went, are you kidding me?
That's fucking crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it's at an antique mall in Eastern Tennessee. So,
You know what I would like?
And those people that own that antique shop in Tennessee probably don't even know the background of that.
probably
They
not.
have
Where
no
it's
idea
from
who
or whatever.
Lenskadoodle is or
Yeah.
whatever.
Because it doesn't even, it just says Lenskadoodle Driving School. It doesn't say Oak Lawn, Illinois,
Yeah.
from nothing.
Unless that's Len Skadoodle's shop.
Len might have moved and retired to Tennessee.
Fucked up my lawn. I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the sign that used to be on top
Yep.
of the cars. And, oh, my God.
That's funny.
Talk about a small world. I mean,
You know, besides Santa Fe Speedway, what nostalgic sign of a business that's out of business now would you want?
S&S Menswear.
Nice.
That I would want.
Yeah. I would like Stark's Army Surplus.
Oh, yeah, it was the other one I
Forgot
was
about that.
thinking of. I couldn't think of the name
Yeah,
Starks. That's why I said
Starks.
S&S.
Stark's was awesome.
Now, I have conflicting memories of Starks. Was it the 5-story building?
You know, I'm the same thing. What I remember of Stark's is I don't remember the building, but I remember the smell. And I remember when you would walk in there, it was like everything was in like these big troughs. Like,
Right, yeah.
It was troughs of gloves and canteen covers and canteens. And they were big tables with like edges on them. And everything was just piled.
Yep.
But it had this smell. And I remember it did have a second level, if I remember right.
Well, see, the problem is I remember, unless they moved out of the original building and went into the 5-story building, because I remember going to the 3rd floor with my father and going through those bins or troughs or whatever you want
And
to
they
say.
used to have like the 55-gallon drums of stuff too. Like
They had everything.
55-gallon drums of gloves and scarves and hats and
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. If you had a coat rack, that was an amazing thing,
yeah.
and they were probably selling it. But
God, that place was awesome.
oh yeah, my dad would buy a pair of gloves, and neither one of them looked alike.
Well, yeah.
Hey, at least you got a left and a right one.
Yeah, well,
I
not always.
still have my Army flashlight from Stark's from back in the day. The olive drab one that's got the curve to it.
Right,
You
yeah, the
know,
one that you put on your.
Yeah,
Yeah, I still have
Jacket.
that. And it's funny because it's still got the incandescent bulb from like 1973, and it
Don't
puts
dare
out
to
like
use it.
it puts out no light whatsoever. It's like, how did we?
No,
use
you have to
these
turn
as
the light on to
flashlights?
turn
Yeah.
to see the light.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's like it's got no light whatsoever, but I can't get rid of it because it just means something to me.
Oh, it's
you know?
nostalgia.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can't find those real ones anymore.
Right. Well, then, in Flying Tigers used to be the only
That's
Army
the other
surplus
one.
shop. They closed.
Yeah.
They closed. They're online only now.
Really?
No
They
kidding.
closed the location down on like 150th and Cicero.
Wow.
I'm like, I think there's one in Oak Park now. That's the last Army surplus store left.
Yeah, they're a dying breed.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a store that one of you might know. It used to be on Roberts Road, I think around where, what is it called now? It's not West Loop, is it? The guy that you told me to go see when I had my door fixed.
Not Calamine, Technocraft.
Yeah. So it's like right in that area, and it was kind of like a Harbor Freight before Harbor Freight,
Okay.
but it wasn't like always new stuff.
It was a tool shop.
Yes.
Yeah, a tool
and
store.
it was like just a big warehouse almost, and like shit was laying on the ground. They had some kind of shelves and blah blah blah.
That's almost like the tool store in Berwyn.
It is.
Exactly.
It is.
But it was bigger.
He used to be in Bridgeview at that location Lou's talking about. Then he moved
Hickory Hills.
over to like 90th and Harlem for a little while. He had a storefront on 90th and Harlem, and then he closed that up and moved to Berwyn to the bigger place where they got into the selling the go-karts and the
Okay.
mini bikes and everything.
So it's the
But
same.
it's the same
place.
guy. Yeah,
Okay.
same owner. Yeah.
Because I used to go there with my dad like every weekend, and just look at all the same shit. But I just remember it distinctively, like the way it smelled. It just smelled like grease and tools. Like it was like a shop.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called though.
No,
Just a tool store. It was the tool store.
It's
there
what
was
it
a
is
name
now.
on it though. There was a different name. I can't remember what it was.
There was another one too. Archer Puppies was always my favorite. That's where we got our first dog from, Pepper, from Archer Puppies.
I don't remember Archer Puppies.
Yeah, they were on like Archer in Harlem, right by what used to be, was it Triad or Trinidad or Triangle Stereo on Archer in Harlem. It's a cell phone shop now.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Oh,
I
yeah.
used to do all my car radios back in the day.
Was it on the same side of the street?
It was across from Burger King.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, because if you go on Harlem, further down, right behind that is the feed store.
It was right over there, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, the stuff that is missing off of Harlem now, you lost Joe and Frank, or Frank and Joe's, or whatever it is, the Polish place.
What the hell is the story with that, man? They had to be profitable.
I don't think anyone in the family wanted it anymore.
Wow. That's what happened to Mabenkas.
Yeah, that's exactly what it, and that was, my aunts loved that place.
Oh, I love that place. We had Abby's christening at Mabenkas. Now it's a fucking weed store.
Yeah.
It is. It's a marijuana dispensary.
Yeah, I know. I
might
opened it.
still like it.
Starbuds or
I
something.
had to.
Starbucks.
I had to do a building inspection there.
It's Starbuds?
Yeah, when they were opening up.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
That's
fucked
hilarious.
That's crazy.
That's such
but
a
look
great
at-
name.
We lost Joe and Frank's over there on Harlem and Archer.
I'm pissed about that because you know what? Summer's here and I don't have my grilling sausage this year.
Yeah, and they're closed over here. And then you and I lost Bosa Donuts.
Never heard of Bosa Donuts.
Yeah, you did. We used to hang out in the parking lot after the park. Or across the street from Burger King.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was Bosa Donuts.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a name from the past. I remember that. Yeah.
And we got kicked out of there one time. That's when about 135 of us got arrested. Because some moron, and I don't know why people do this stuff. I mean, we were old enough to know better. And this jackass takes a rock and he throws it over the fence. Now, we never caused any problems there until this ass does that shit. And then they come in and they...
Takes one shithead.
Yeah, and they put all the guys into a paddy wagon and took all the girls in the squad cars. They arrested us down at the 8th District. They processed, I should say, us at the 8th District. And then, we went to court and everything. They just went, yeah, okay. The judge says, everyone involved in the Bosa Donuts incident, please rise. The whole courtroom stood up. He just went, okay, dismissed. But that was the reason I brought that up is because Bosa Donuts was a fun place to hang out. It was safe. It wasn't even that big, so you had maybe 50 or 60 people there.
Until somebody started throwing rocks.
Throw a rock over and hits a car.
Well, see, back in the day, and that's what's so different about, like, yesterday and today, was we had places like Archer Avenue. We had places like Marquette Park. And what was cool about Marquette Park is, okay, that was a place you went to from your driving age, 16 to 20. You hung out at Marquette Park because you couldn't get in the bars, and you were too old to, like, hang out in a playground, And that was the place. But here was the thing. There was so few problems up there because we policed ourselves, for one, but for two, we liked it and we enjoyed ourselves there, so we didn't want any shitheads doing stupid shit. So we would kind of like, the people that were doing bad things kind of got knocked out, and the cops knew, because there was a relationship between the police and the kids. They kind of knew who the good kids and the bad seeds were, and when the bad people were coming through, and they knew when an outsider was coming through to cause trouble. The cops had such a good pulse on Marquette Park. It was crazy.
Well, needless to say, that jackass did get his ass kicked afterwards.
Yeah.
Because then we weren't even allowed in Bosa Donuts parking lot.
Well,
anymore.
yeah. Would you allow people back if something like that happened? It's like one shithead screws it up. And I mean, yeah, there's stories about Marquette Park and about all kind of bad stuff that happened there. Bad stuff happens everywhere, people. But But for the most part, you could literally grow up there and never have a problem. You know.
Right.
Oh, it was.
I mean, I
blast.
think, God, maybe hung out there for 5 years. Maybe got in 3 fights. Maybe
If that.
if that. You know. And most of them ended before they even got bloody.
Right, because everyone else stood in
Yeah,
for you.
people would go, no, you don't want to do that, you know, or oh, come on, guys, shake it out, hug it out, be done with it.
Yeah, and
know?
I don't know if we've ever talked about it on this show, but we've talked about it plenty of times, man. That was, you had the cruisers, you had the headbangers, you had the
Thrashers, the posers,
Thrashers,
the
yeah.
metalheads, the cruisers, the preppies.
and everybody got along.
Well, everybody had their own little tribe, and you had your own little spot.
Right.
You know,
Click.
Except
yeah,
for me, I used to walk the entire park.
Yep.
Mike was king shit.
No, I just brought a great big fucking wolf dog there, and
Well, I would say you were probably out of people in charge of Marquette Park. I would put you in the top 5, probably top 3.
really,
Yeah, of people that were recognized. Yeah, it would have been that magic dude because everybody knew him and feared him. Everybody liked you, and then there was Eddie Epling.
and then there was Eddie Epling.
Yeah, everybody knew Epling and Manny. Remember Manny Garcia?
Manny, yeah.
Everybody. You guys were definitely the guys that like everybody knew of. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it was that was a time in my life that I enjoyed the most.
You know, and it's sad because our kids today will never know what it's like to actually socialize and be social.
Not like that.
Well, yeah. Like this.
Yeah.
Social media.
Scrolling.
Yeah, they call it social media. How the hell is that?
It's the last thing from social ever.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, I would walk the entire park back and forth and just goof around with everybody. And I was a biker, so when I went down by the cruisers, they kind of were worried about what I was going to do. But I would talk bikes with them because I didn't care.
God.
You didn't have a Harley, but all right, so what?
Remember Chicken Man's Ninja? His purple and black ninja?
Do you remember Monkey?
I remember the name.
Oh, my God. I think I said this before, but I asked him why they called him Monkey, and he said, "Look at me." So, okay. Yeah, he did. He looked just like a monkey, but he brought a ninja up. And I'd never been on a crotch rocket before that. And
I can't even picture you on a crotch rocket.
neither can I, but I took it, and I left Marquette Park, and the next thing I know, I'm over at 103rd and Harlem from Marquette Park. And it was a hurricane, and I was on that thing, and I was riding it all over the place, and I get back, and I go, "Monkey, don't let me ride this thing again." I hurt myself. I couldn't lean over a damn tank like that all day long. Oh, my God, I hated that.
Those were uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Uncomfortable
but
bikes.
anyway, gentlemen.
Those were the days.
Yep.
Yeah, we probably got to wrap it up. We're trying to keep these under a certain gigabyte limit or whatever, but
That ain't gonna work.
yeah, the Not Podcast signing off. What do we talk about tonight? What'll the title of this one be?
Well, it can't be baseball again.
Sports shorts and memories.
Sports shorts. What else? But we had. We started a topic on.
Well, the start of it was about Kyle.
Yeah, we did a little Kyle thing.
Just did a little bit of everything today.
Yeah.
A lot of it was nostalgia stuff.
nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do. We're storytellers.
Yeah. Well,
Storytellers.
we got plenty of those coming up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
And
anyway,
then after that, we go straight to the nudes.
the nudes.
Hey, we're trying to get viewership up, right?
I'm tapping out right now.
All right. Yeah.
On that note.
Good night, everyone.
Buenos noches and goodbye from Shipwreck Studios in Burbank, Illinois.
Congested.